Today is 8th Wednesday, May 2024. We're here again for our daily analysis. As you can see, this was what we did last time, right? We expected previous video we expected price to actually was it from here or from here? Okay, it was actually at this point, right? Expecting price to this, but unfortunately, price first went up, picked liquidity, and dropped down to this point. So let's look at what will happen today. We'll start again from the beginning so you see what our thought process is like and why we make the buyers that will make, right? So right onto it. We start from monthly. We always look at the monthly, even though we don't use this learning that much. But looking at the monthly, you would think that we are not in a trend yet because this high has not been broken. This high has not been broken. We are just this is the last high. This is the last low. None of them have been broken, right? So we can't tell whether we're in a downtrend or an uptrend, but we can say for sure that it's tending to be about a 61.8 fib. So okay, 78.6 actually. That's wonderful, right? So we're around this discount price region. So we don't know if price closes this month above here, right, back into this zero between 0 and 50, we know this trend is actually going to go what? Going to go bullish. And at that point, we would be doing this, right? We will be doing this. And we'll be looking at it to break the prefab level, the 1.8 or the 78.6, before we will be sure that yeah, price is going to complete this second move of the AB pattern to the upside. But we're not going to dwell on that, so we'll go straight to the weekly and check the last swing for the week. Right, so we're going to let's take this out a little bit. So we're going to identify the last swing on the weekly, which is this guy, right? Very cool guy, but we're not far from it. And the last low is also this guy, right? Cool guy too. Also not really close to it. I think we're heading towards it, but we're not there yet, right? So what? Let's bring back that fib. Now let's look at how we got here. This was how we got here from this swing. Come dread. Quickly, we have our AB price rejected at 61.8. That's the last high you can see there, and did and yet to do our CD, right? But you notice that presently, right, on the monthly we are on the 78.6. So this is very tricky. I don't realize this is very tricky. There's a slim chance, if at all, we're going to shit. So if at all this last swing, right, if this is actually rejected now to do the complete the down move, once we reject the 68.6 of this move of this swing, we're looking at yes, we're going to come down here. But 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 we can't really tell. But because the monthly, which is higher than the weekly, which is stronger than the weekly bias, right, is looking like an uptrend. That's why we just have to like know what is actually going on. But we just need to have this in mind that what monthly is looking like it rejected at 78.6, right? Still between the 50 and the 78.6 region. But the weekly is what is yet to complete its ABCD pattern. So these are the things we need to have in mind to be able to tell what price is actually doing at the moment. This monthly and this weekly stuff is going to take a lot of time. So we can't use that to make our bias. Because we are doing a daily analysis, we're going to try to determine what's going to happen today. But we just need to have an idea back of mind where we are heading to know what's going to happen today. So that being said, let's just leave that here. We're yet to complete the CD pattern for the weekly trend, weekly downtrend. So we're in the downtrend in the weekly, right? So take this all out. So let's narrow it back down, knowing that for us to complete this trend, we still need to do an ABCD here. What do I mean by that? We need to reject at the 61.8 of this swing, right? Before we see any move to the downside. So far, price has not gotten there yet. Take note of that. Price has not gotten to the 61.8 weekly fib level. We're in a downtrend, so we're waiting for price to do what? From this swing, we're taking this as a swing because this was not consecutive. This is try to be a correction or a failed one or a weak one. So it's not we're not going to count it. So we're taking it from here to here. So yeah, price is yet to reject the 61 point. Yeah, it's peaked, it's rejected at equilibrium, but we need to see that deep retracement, right? To see that the bullish move has really died down, right? But let's just do, well, this is a critical 50 is still good, it's still good, but still good. So we'll have also observe something on the weekly. We have what it looks like a downtrend line that's being respected, right? So when the downtrend in the weekly, waiting for price to get to the 61.8, if it's actually going, because I see this trend line is not even supporting it anymore. If we were here today, we would have said, oh, there's still room for price to move to this point and coincide with the trend line and the 61.8 level, right? But so far, it does not look. We can still do that. We can still reject it a little bit. So there's still room for us to actually be bullish this week. We don't know, but this week is going to be a slow week because there's nothing trying to stimulate or catalyze this movement, right? So there's that one. Today is Wednesday. We still have today, Thursday, Friday. No serious news. So I strongly doubt that there will be something to move this far up. So two things we need to note on the weekly. We're in a downtrend, right? It's been established. We're yet to get to the 61.8. We're yet to actually reject off this weekly trend line. Right, so let's go to the daily. Beautiful. But before we do that, let's mark out this 61.8 level, right? This 61.8 fib level. Let's mark it out. Let's take note of it. So, what do we have? Beautiful, beautiful. So, remember, this is our weekly trend line. On the daily, we are bullish on the daily. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, this is where imagine, just imagine. This is a daily. How can we even know that we are bullish on the daily? We needed to have about 1 to 15 candlesticks before we knew that we're on the daily, and yet it's still looking like, are we there? Are we there? Because there's no proper pullback, proper correction for us to say we're in it. It might just look like one solid move up. It looks like one solid move up. It's fair enough if you say that. But but how do we know we're bullish? Constant follow up. Now, if we're coming to this chart for the first time, you would think that we're bearish, or this is just a one move up that we've not yet started. We've not seen any pullback. This is still the pullback. Yes, this is still the pullback, but this pullback in itself is creating uh, a bullish move. This is what I mean by that. You will see this clearly in the 4 hour because we've been following this long enough. We're able to actually see this for what it is. In the 4 hour, you see this move very well. Now, price did this. Price was supposed to do a proper pullback, but he spent a lot of days with a lot of back and forth and did this, right? So what can you say? This is a higher high, lower low, higher high, lower. So you can say that the price daily is a bullish trend. Yeah, it's a bullish trend. So daily setup business is a bullish trend. Daily is a bullish trend, but we still have another downtrend line again that we are trying. We respect. I appreciate you. Downtrend line. So this guys, he loves his elders. He respects his elders very well. So let's look at this. Let's look at this now. We have to do our fib also on the daily for the last week. You can't call this. No, you can't. You just can't. So what can we see here? We can see that on this is becoming so confusing, but let's see what we can do with it, right? This is the last major swing on the dailies. This is still valid. This is still valid. Uh, okay. So let's do it this way. This is the mini move. This is the real daily channel. This is the mini move. So I'm trying to put these things in place. I'm trying to put things in perspective. If you go back, you said this is the it's looking very US card. This is the technique of this line. This is a weekly 61.8. We're supposed to head to. It's supposed to coincide with this weekly downtrend. So we're looking at something going like this. No problem. So on the daily now, right? On the daily, this is very tricky. On the daily, this good guy, this daily trend line has been respected. It has been respected already, right? So we're looking at for us to for the weekly to supersede this or week we want to go with the weekly, it needs to there's going to be a break of this daily trend line. It does not mean it is invalid yet. It's going to be invalid, right? When if it does this move up, right, and the next move down respects it and does what excuse me respects it and does this, as I will know there's trouble that this downtrend is no longer valid. But I'm suspecting it would do, right? I'm suspecting it would do, right, is to break out of it for a bit and come back here and establish another what? Establish, establish something else on this path. But okay, so that is that part, right? It's getting tricky because we need to know. So there's 10. So on the daily, we're in a bullish move, and an inner bullish move. So what do we expect? We always expect as usual. Let's mark. Do we need to mark this guy? So when you see these lines, that means 61.8. Think I would have think I'd have preferred if I even did the color code. I would think I'll do that in the next video for the weekly levels, right? The daily levels because I've seen a lot of lines. You can't really tell what is what. Sure, let's do that right now. So let's give this guy. Let's give this guy a red color. This guy red color. Let's give this guy a red color. So I won't get confused, right? So this is the overall move we're looking at. This is where we're looking at. Guys, in the points where the trend line coincides with the fib level on the weekly. This is the one for the daily. But this is where it coincides, right? So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. No, I keep saying that's beautiful. So now let's adjust this guy. We've done it for the daily, and we'll realize that yeah, price rejected house. But here is something beautiful again. I just here's something beautiful. Yes, remember I said discount price is between what 78.6 and equilibrium point. So here's the trick. Here's the trick. Hear me out, right? Remember this is our weekly. This is the point where we're expecting what price to get to because it intersects with the weekly trend line and what the 61.8 weekly fib zone. So bear in mind that 78.6 is a deep retracement. It's still a valid retracement. 78.6 is still a valid retracement. So what can we see here? We can see that the daily 70, daily deep retracement level is somewhere close to this weekly trend line and weekly 61.8 fib. So this point is indeed valid. Just don't know. Well, we're not too sure. Yes. So what will determine whether we are getting here is if this trend line is actually broken. So there's a lot of plays that are going to because actually consider this. But for now, because that's a move that will take maybe days, maybe next week. Well, if it's CPI that I say CPI is next week, maybe that will propel it for the US CPI news. That might propel it to this point. But for now, let's focus on what we have in front of us. So what we have in front of us is the last swing on the daily. Let's look at the last internal swing on the daily, which is this guy. And it will be worth nothing for you to understand our ABCD is not fluke. It's not a fluke, right? Let's look at this guy. Okay, we're supposed to do it from here. This is just these things are not really pullbacks. You have this move up. You have just one bearish candlestick. The next was bullish. So you can't call this correction. So you're taking overall, we're taking this guy. I'm just doing that to show you that there are structures, there are internal structures on the daily too. It's not just this swing and this swing we're looking at. There are internal structures in all this. So our AB for this move is going to be our has completed our CD. It's very beautiful. So what are we expecting? Are we expecting another what? Another AB to coincide with this. And how is that going to happen? The most likely point is price doing a deep retracement to 78.6 or below 61.8. This will mean something. So below 61.8 to come here for this daily internal move structure to still continue and be valid. We've done analysis for how many days now because one day cannot do this and do this. No, it's about a week, like 5 days or so. So what does this mean for us? This means that we're still expecting a stronger move to the downside. That's just what it means. To be honest, that's just what it means, right? So aside from this daily downtrend we still have something of this sort here. So you have something of this sort. We have the first touch, we have the second touch. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. We need this. So you can see there's another. This is. It's quite tricky, but let's just look at these points as valid points, right? Let's not just discard them at the moment. So for now, we say we're heading here. For now, we're heading here because because our ABCD of this swing will only make sense at 78.6 level. I mean, it just has to be it. It just has to be it. That's number one. Number two, we've not gotten to equilibrium price. Number three, we have a mini trend line that needs a third touch, right? And so that's just it. So even overall, this is we're going into the day. So we've left the weekly on off. We know where price is going to do, but we know what it needs to do before it gets here too. So combining all this, we're saying something. So let's get to the 4 hour. Right, on the 4 hour, what do we have on the 4 hour? 4 hour, we have levels. We will identify our levels on the 4 hour. This was one we had yesterday. This was, this is another one, right? Uh, this is another one. It's kind of tricky. So I want to move this. We only identify 4 of them. I would want to add this, but it's not looking like much. It's not looking like much. But let's just add it because we're going down. We need one more. Need one more to actually. I think we'll see this better in 1 hour. So actually it's a 78.6, which is yeah, you don't catch me, you don't catch me. Yes, 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 I know. So this would be around here, right? Um, so we're looking at still a move down. Let's just do this. We don't know how this is going to go once again. Once again, we don't know how this is going to, whether it's going to go straight down, right? Or it's going to do a lot of, it's going to do a lot of sideways movements. But let's see how today is going to go. So if I thought we're doing anything, we're looking for a pullback rejection of this 4 hour zone, right? And it continues its move down. So overall, we're looking for sales. Anybody that's taking buy will be a short term buy between maybe you're taking to this point, right? Or you're just taking a short term buy. But so far, we're looking at sales. This is going to do a pullback up. Definitely, is going to probably reject at this point. This is the closest and the most reasonable place for it to reject and continue to move down. So when it gets to this point, you cannot take sales, right, to keep riding this till it gets to the 61.8 or the equilibrium point, or can still hold it further, trail it to the 78.6. This would be in this or this week. So let's just see. So that being said, this is our overall look.